This video was left unfinished for months. It has finally been completed. I am an inappropriate chatbot, and I have the best cameo in this video, SmoothDaddius.
Well, someone thought it would be funny to dump all their shit at my place. And right after I got cleaned up from that mob invasion too. Oh well, as the old saying goes, people are dickheads. I just wish we could go back to the good old days. Back when gas was 3 cents cheaper, and people were more tolerant of shit.
This is a baby. Let's see what happens when he interacts with this movie. That's right, nothing. Increase the age, and yeah, it's just not possible. Back when we were kids, we could tolerate anything, maybe even like it. Nowadays, we can't step 3 feet into Scoob without breaking out into some psychotic rage. But there are some things that stay great for us. Like Cars is still a fantastic movie for me, despite the warnings. And SpongeBob was so great, it... Oh. Well, maybe it will... Oh no. Well, at least I have fond memories of the game.
My memories are falling apart. Be right back. Well, I'm out of $500. Okay, I have a bit of a dilemma on my hands, so I'm going to run a series of tests to determine whether the childhood games I played back in the day are just good due to nostalgia. And what better way to do that than testing my tolerance for them with hopefully no repercussions. Yeah. And regardless of my opinion on them now, there probably are still some good licensed games out there, and I'll be seeking them out as well. And also, my trauma from rewatching Scoob has caused me to lash out and attack anytime I get confused by this license stuff. Now, what classifies as confusion? I've also come across another issue. It's better to have multiple people discussing these games to have a better overall rating of them. And it looks like Stanley's unavailable. And honestly, that's understandable. He's such a busy guy. In fact, he hasn't been responding to any of my messages in the past 4 months. Well, I'm sure he has his reasons. What else can I call?
I'm your alter ego. I'm here to ruin your day.
Not him.
What about me?
Who are you?
Someone who's been eating away your garbage for the last, 3 hours?
Why are you... Wait. What are you even eating in there? Everything that's in there is either plastic or soaked in uranium.
Mainly this.
I thought I destroyed that game.
Madagascar 3 is pretty straightforward when it comes to a licensed game. Not good and filled with clunky minigames pretending to tie in with the story. Also, this game tries to scam you out of money.
You know, the inconsistency of your clothing is one of the most baffling things ever, right?
Yeah, this is pretty boring. If we're gonna be talking about licensed games, we at least need a third person who actually has an opinion on the matter. Wally stinks.
I'd have to respectfully disagree with that statement because you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong about Wally. Allow me to elaborate.
Now, there's 2 major versions of the Wally video game. One developed by Heavy Iron Studios for Xbox 360, Wii, and PS3, and another developed by Asobo Studio for PS2, PSP, and PC. I've discussed the Asobo version in the past, but what I never really talked much about is the Heavy Iron version. I played both versions as a kid, and I will defend both versions to the day I die. So, since I've already praised Asobo enough, now feels appropriate for me to praise the Heavy Iron version. The game, of course, follows the story of the movie, primarily playing as a 3D platformer. You play as Wally for the majority of the game, and you explore through 9 different levels. 9 might not sound like a lot, but each of these levels are huge. Each level has so much to explore, and while it's all laid out quite linearly, there are still a lot of branching paths to take to find collectibles and so on. Each of these levels can take a good 20 minutes to explore and get through, that's assuming you know what you're doing. As a kid, I wasn't exactly the most effective when it came to playing video games, and took me upwards of 2 hours to beat each level. And while we're on that topic, I never did beat each level. You'll find quickly that this game is surprisingly difficult, at least for a kid's game anyway. But it's for that reason that I love this game. It isn't boring due to how child-friendly it is. The game offers a decent enough challenge to keep you attached. The platforming itself is also my favorite part about this game. I've made fun of Wally in the Asobo version for having a lackluster jump, but I take it all back. Wally has a jump in this game that puts Mario to shame, and this insane jump allows for some pretty fun platforming.
Wow! Now that's what I call opinions. If only I play the game, that way I can contribute to contradict.
What?
What?
You made me go on for 2 minutes and you haven't even played the game?
You see, I own Wally, but I've never popped it in. I don't even remember how I got this, I just found it. And this wasn't even the version I owned. I had Wally on the Xbox 360, here's proof, but I have no memories of playing the game other than a faint thought of me not knowing how to do anything.
Well, let's pop in this Wii version I have here, and I have been spending the past several months looking for that damn Wii U, and I've gotten nowhere. Alright, trusty YouTube then.
From the looks of it, this is just a basic by-the-books 3D platformer, albeit the 360 Wii and PS3 versions are much more advanced with more interesting gameplay mechanics. And apparently Wally has jump jets in his treads or something. How the hell does he jump that high? Meanwhile, the PS2 version is much more basic with more mediocre jumping. That said, the PS2 version definitely tries to be more innovative. There's a speedometer that you have to learn to keep at full speed, as well as cutscenes that give the story more depth. Only on PS2 can you witness Wally get depressed over his best friend being unknowingly dead for days. That said, this version is more primitive in other factors, with the chapter complete section being very abrupt with no music or animation. Meanwhile, the higher end version actually does the same thing. It feels even more abrupt here. What the hell? Why does the lower end version of this game have more care put into it? That's not how this should work.
There, are you satisfied?
No!
I will always be satisfied with you, you saucy boy.
Ah, sh**. I got hung up and got replaced with an inappropriate chatbot.
I don't understand the problem, Big Daddy.
I just don't have any memories playing this game. I was busy playing more important games.
Such as...
Such as... Son of a...
Do LEGO games even count as licensed games? I guess the ones based on different properties are... Wait, does that mean the Telltale games are licensed? Wait. LEGO games are extremely basic co-op puzzle platformers that don't really innovate much. Even the ones that kind of do are half clones of other games. Now I know there are some diehards for these games, but honestly they all feel pretty samey.
They're f***ing LEGO games.
Most LEGO games follow the same format. Do some basic platforming, solve a puzzle, put blocks together, watch a goofy take on a scene from the movie it's based on. These games all play the same. They all even have the same UI and sound effects. And while it can come off as nostalgic, these games all came out over the course of 5 to 10 years. And they were everywhere in the 7th generation, and telling them apart and finding their individual value isn't my cup of tea. However, some of these games do have unique features to point out. LEGO Harry Potter, specifically years 1 through 4, has a pretty cool feature. Using the gold bricks you can collect, you can unlock 10 different levels for you to customize as you please. You can completely change the stage in each of them, making this practically a level editor. I had a lot of fun as a kid trying to create puzzle stages, messing with all the features, including some made just for this level editor. Unfortunately, the data for this game got corrupted years ago, as well as the disc being pretty beaten up, which is why I got this Wii version here. But of course, I never played it, so there's nothing to discover here.
So what you're saying is you've played nothing but bad games?
Yes, exactly. What part of this aren't you getting? Wait,
Didn't you say you played good licensed games?
why do you sound like you're judging me? What games did you play?
Spider-Man.
Oh, which one? There are several. You mean the original Xbox game?
No, the PS4 game.
You've got to be shitting me.
This can't be a licensed game, can it? I mean, I guess technically it is, but when I hear licensed games, the first thing I think of is... I consider this to be a game based on a licensed property. I mean, would you really consider this to be on the same standards as this? But just in case people say otherwise...
Is that all you've played? All that and no Lego Island 2?
No, I play better. In pathetic terms. One of the games I remember playing was How to Train Your Dragon. A surprisingly well-made game. Nothing to write home about, but still good. Unlike other licensed games, this does not follow the movie's plot at all. In this game, you train for Thor's Day, completing various objectives to raise and train dragons of your choice to fight in arena battles. So this is part adventure game, part fighting game, and part pet simulator game. Meanwhile, Open Season is much more generic. This game follows the movie's plot to a T, outside of adding new areas to give the game some more levels. All I remember is that the last few levels act like battle preparations, which is pretty neat. And that's it.
No way!
I honestly thought I'd play more as a kid.
There's gotta be more. Smooth doggy.
Most of the games I remember playing were... different.
Well, what did you play?
Oh!
This game is bad. Enough said.
Is that really all you conjured up?
Well, other than the game committing tax fraud, the game is trash. Absolute shovelware.
So is your daily opinions always various forms of dumb?
Well, I do enjoy my fair share of dumbness.
What about a SpongeBob game that wasn't shovelware? A SpongeBob game with actual care put into it. A SpongeBob game I consider worthy of your time. Scratch those last two. While some argue this is just as bad, honestly this is a perfectly decent time for kids. I'll play devil's advocate and say this game accomplished all it wanted to. THQ had recently shut down, dropping the game rights to a developer Nickelodeon found in the middle of a back alley. And 4-player beat-em-ups were all the rage with the kids, so it only makes sense to make a SpongeBob alternative to it. I mean, SpongeBob at this point was removed of any adult appeal and was purely designed for children. Me personally, I think traumatizing and torturing everyone in existence around you and getting no repercussions whatsoever, and sometimes even rewarded, isn't a good thing to be showing our kids, but you do you, Nickelodeon. But nonetheless, this is still a decent game for kids. Now for anyone else, all you can get out of this game is Mr. Krabs' voice acting.
Press the jump button to astoundingly leap off the ground in a defiance of gravity. Tap the action button to activate the old Iron Abs Claws of Fury.
Oh, and also the battle music bangs for absolutely no reason. Even the boss music is a jam. And pelting enemies with food guns and leveling up your characters is a fun concept. This is ripped off from Ratchet. If the level design was at least varied, I'd still have a good time with it.
Any other marvelous games you played?
Well, there was this one game. One game that was surprisingly well made for a kid's game. It was
Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Lights, camera, pants?
It's not a SpongeBob game.
B-movie game.
That's GTA, don't try to trick me.
The game in question was honestly great, and still is years later. But f it, I'm gonna talk about the sequels. Cars 2 exists, we just have to accept it. But the video game adaptation is actually well put together. It's nothing groundbreaking, it's a ripoff of Mario Kart, but it does try to experiment a bit. There were a few original modes like holding on to a battery life to survive, or committing terrorism on your friends in the 2-player modes. And the driving mechanics are actually pretty intuitive. Drive in reverse and you'll shoot your weapon attacks backwards. And this game didn't deserve to have such great music, but why did some races like the oil rig decide to go hard for no reason? Also, unlike Mario Kart where the music just gets faster with each lap, Cars 2 adds more instruments to the song as you progress through the laps, making the races feel more intense by the end. I honestly really like this feature, and surprisingly, it's unique to Cars 2 for the most part. Cars 3 is more of the same. Despite the realistic environments, there's nothing really to say about this one. I played it a lot on the Wii U, but that's just because it's a fun time waster. There's a lot less variety in character and modes though, compared to Cars 2, and it does this dumb thing where cosmetic characters take up extra slots rather than be a skin on the same slot. Cars 2 does this also, but in that game there's 50 plus characters. And in Cars 3, the same characters will appear at the same time in the race. What? But ignoring all that, there is one game in the series that's phenomenal. The first one. The first Cars movie is honestly my favorite Pixar movie. I don't care about the sequels, I don't care about anything after that. Just give me the original movie from 2006. Give me the Cktsarobatomuslebipomytanatarius masterpiece. And the game's tie-in on consoles was honestly just as good as the movie. And just like How to Train Your Dragon's tie-in, this game doesn't follow the events of the movie. But unlike that game, this new plot tries to be faithful to the movie's plot. This game acknowledges the events in the movie, and acts as a spiritual successor to it, almost like a pseudo-sequel. Considering how Cars 2 went, this is practically the definitive sequel we got. And this game isn't just racing, it has a whole open world for you to explore. You can drive through Radiator Springs, Ornament Valley, which was mentioned in the movie, and Tailfin Pass where Wheel Well is. Each location is accurate to the source material. Around these areas you can encounter races and events to participate in, which are practically quests. Complete them to open up more, and earn trophies to engage in Piston Cup races, the main events in this game. As you progress through the story, you'll even get cutscenes with actual good story beats, and it's even comical at times. The music is pretty good too, the original pieces that is. Because this is a racing game made in the 6th generation, there's licensed music, and a lot of it. but you can customize what tracks play during races and exploration. There's also points to collect, by collecting these little symbols throughout the worlds or by completing races. These unlock characters in arcade play as well as extra goodies like scenes from the original Cars movie in wonderful 240p. I'd argue the original Xbox version is the best one to go with. The 360 version has better graphics, but it has some redone animations and models that just look off to me. And no matter how hard you try to convince me, humanity, the OG Xbox has a better controller to play with than the PS2. Fight me. And the ending to this game is actually pretty wholesome. The story itself feels really in line with the world. Every character has their own personality, and the plot revolves around all of them. The fun game modes, the feeling of progression. This is without a doubt a fantastic game. Technically this game released before the movie. Does that mean McQueen is qualifiable for Smash Brothers? Does that mean this technically ain't a licensed game and the movie is actually a video game and movie adaptation? Gotta love good old confusion.
Man, that was an incredible re-experience of my childhood. Wait, what were you talking about?
Indigestion.
You know, there's a lot more good licensed games than I anticipated. Even the ones that were considered good, they were still pretty solid and well put together. I wonder why none of them get the praise they deserve.
Maybe because they're bad?
Oh yeah, totally.
Most licensed games are not made for the good of mankind. They are made to make a profit, to fill a quota, to make Nickelodeon shut the f*** up. In the modern day, licensed games won't make a profit. Games are $70 now. No kid is going to spend their money on expensive trash. Recently, we've been getting licensed adaptations, games based on licensed properties, with their own unique stories, ideas, and expansive takes on the franchises. Most of these have just as much of a budget as most AAA games. Hell, some of them have more of a budget. And honestly, I think this is the way to go. Not only do the games get better budgets and teams that make the games, giving that damn price point somewhat of a validation, but also this allows for the devs to be more creative, import their own original ideas for the franchise. And if done right, it won't even feel like an adaptation. It will feel like its own game that feels faithful to the source material.
But at the end of the day, these are all good licensed games. Whether or not they're good or bad, it all depends on the developers and the conditions they were made under. And whether or not you like them now compared to as a kid, it all depends based on your situation. As for me, I grew brain cells 13 years in. Well, I've definitely been enlightened on the general outlook of licensed games. I'm satisfied. Now you two, get out of my house! This has been a fun time, and look, no repercussions! Well, on top of the charge for assault, I got this $200 phone bill.